Hello friends, I live in Poland for 2 years. During this time, I noticed that Polish people sometimes can be quite challenging to handle. This is tightly related to several subjects which are exceptionally sensitive in Poland. Today, I want to present you 5 very sensitive subjects for Polish people so that in the future, if you ever have a chance to talk with a Pole, you will be totally prepared for anything that can happen. Let's start. The first sensitive subject is related to Catholic Church. Maybe you already know, in Poland, many people believe in Catholicism. And most of the people who believe in Catholicism, from the older generation especially, they are very traditional and conservative. And also because in Poland, basically there's no other religion existing. So people are not used to openly tolerate other possibility, other existence. So in Poland, if you want to talk to a Polish people, you really have to be careful to do not challenge them, criticize them. Otherwise, they will feel provoked. In the past, I made some video to talk about some sensitive subject, and some viewers criticized me, even rebuke me in the comments. That made me feel very uncomfortable. So in the future, I decided that I will just avoid this type of sensitive subject, and I recommend you to do the same. Or if you want to touch this subject, I think it's better that you first let other people speak what they think, what is their attitude, and then you adjust what you're going to say to align your opinion with them so that you will not provoke them because they are quite sensitive and they will think that you want to challenge them. The second sensitive subject is money. Polish people don't like to talk about money. They don't like to share the information of how much they have, how much they spend on something with other people. Because people will feel jealous when you have a lot of money, you have a good car, you have a beautiful house, maison. But when you earn very little money, people will look down on you. I totally understand it because in China, people think in the same way. So in China, money is also a very sensitive subject. It's unfair. There are rich people, there are poor people. So in Poland, people are sensitive about this subject, I can understand. So my suggestion to you is that you can try to make it like a lighter subject. You can even make a joke about it, or you can even tell the Polish people how much you spend on one item, and then to make them to open their mind to be more friendly towards you. And when you have better contact, maybe they will tell you how much they spend to buy a beautiful car. And I'm thinking about why this happened. I think Poland is quite similar to China. There was a long period of time people were poor, and suddenly some new epoch start, and the people can have opportunity to collect money. And some people grasp this opportunity to become rich, but some people were not so lucky. I think this is the reason. And the difference between rich people and poor people very frequently cause conflict in the society. I think it's wise to keep it a little bit sensitive so that people don't talk too much to keep the balance of the society. The best scenario is that all the people are rich enough that they don't have to be jealous for other people. In that case, people will feel more secure, more safe to talk about the money issue. Nevertheless, I think money issue is not as sensitive as a church subject. So if you are talking about the church subject with a Pole, but you see that he started to be irritated, then you can quickly transfer the subject to money issue. Maybe he will feel ashamed and stop being irritated. Third sensitive subject is about sexuality. I was very shocked when I heard that Polish people have very limited tolerance about homosexuality. And some people even think it's not proper to have sex before marriage, or have a relationship without marriage. Because I think Europe is open area that people should get used to this kind of thing already. But the truth is that many Polish people are very conservative and traditional. And when you talk about sexuality with them, sometimes they think that you want to judge about their personal affairs, so they will be offended and start to be angry. Although I don't quite understand what they are thinking of. But I think people should be able to and should feel comfortable to talk about sexuality related subject, because this is natural. We all have body and we all need sex to make us happy. Although I feel ashamed to say so because I came from China, and in China people don't talk about sex. Sometimes people make some jokes about sex, but we don't openly talk about sex in a scientific way. We don't even have sexual education. I think that people should have a good understanding about sex and our body, so that in the future, when we talk about sex, we will not feel ashamed or immoral. And I think Polish people should do this as well. So when you talk about sexuality with a Pole, how should you deal with it? I think first of all, you have to know that you have to tell them that you don't have to talk about personal details. You just generally talk about knowledge and talk about our body. And second of all, you can use humor. You can make a lot of jokes, even to the limit, because people tolerate more about jokes. And I think, of course, the new generation, young people are more tolerant. They live a more modern life, so it's easier to talk with young people. You have nothing to worry about. The fourth subject is history and patriotism. Poland has very turbulent and difficult history. In the past, Poland was occupied by other countries for multiple times, and Poland was totally eliminated from the map of the world for multiple times. So people have quite a fragile heart. They need to get some confidence of the security of the nation from somewhere. So when they talk about this subject, they are very sensitive and fragile. It's easy for them to get angry. I think this national pride is very important for them because of this reason. And the history is a scar for them. I can understand because I come from China. China has also very pessimistic history, and the Chinese people also need some confidence about their country. But mostly China have very good propaganda, so people love our country and wants to be best, want foreigners to praise us. I think Polish people are the same. And so when you talk to a Polish people, I think my suggestion is that you can let him to talk. Let him to talk about the history of Polish people fighting in the past, so he can get this satisfaction and get his self-esteem back. In this case, he will like you more. And if you see somebody is really not very patient, not welcome to talk, then maybe it's better to just avoid talking with him and go to meet some new people, nicer people. Actually, I have many videos in which I praise Poland. Poland is so beautiful. Polish people are very nice. And many people leave comments to welcome me to come to Poland. I'm not sure after this video, people will still welcome me to Poland or not. Maybe they will rebuke me. Go back to China. The last subject is politics. Of course, politics is a very exciting subject all over the world. For Polish people, I heard that in Poland, for many years, there has been two powerful, dominant parties, and there has never has been any agreement between them. So when you talk about politics with any Pole, you should be careful. First of all, you have to figure out what that Pole believe, who he support. And then if he support the same party as you do, then you can talk. No matter you will not have a disagreement. But the Pole support the other party than you, then you'd better do not talk. Or you just let him talk, you don't talk. And when you meet with the Pole for the first time, you're not sure who he support. Be careful. Do not even talk about anything innocent, because even innocent opinion, innocent talking can trigger a Polish people, and he will get angry. And apart from that, don't say that you are communist, because Polish people don't like communists. I'm not, although I come from China. I mean, delete it. So these are 5 most sensitive subjects for Polish people, according to my opinion. So be careful when you talk with the Pole. Even an innocent small talk can trigger a Pole. They may start to argue with you, they may be very angry, but there is very little chance that there will be any physical attack. In general, Polish people are quite calm, and they will not attack you in general. But like everywhere else in the world, young people are more open, but not always. Some people, for example, are very patriotic. Still, with young people, the conversation will be more pleasant than with older generation. They are more traditional and conservative. Now you know this subject which you should avoid if you don't want any conflict or trouble in Poland. Or these are the subjects you can talk about if you want to have a very exciting conversation with the Pole. Thank you for watching today's video. Leave your comments and please subscribe and give us a like. See you next time. Bye bye.